Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Bennett, and I am the Partner Development Lead at Solver for our partner, Intelitech Solutions. Intelitech is a Solver Award winner, by the way, having received the Solver Industry Partner Award just last month at Solver's Ascend Americas Conference in Huntington Beach, California. So congratulations to them. Thank you for joining us today at the Intelitech Insight Summit, where in this session, we will talk about modernization and transformation. And specifically, I will be covering how to leverage Solver's xFP&A solution to help with modernizing Microsoft Dynamics GP or SL, or any legacy ERP for that matter, to Dynamics 365, Business Central, or Sage Intacct. And no matter where you are in that journey, Solver can accelerate that journey. So if you're wondering what xFP&A is, well, we'll cover that first on our agenda. Then we'll talk about ERP modernization and how Solver can help you right away if you're going to stay on GP or SL for a little while, even if you're going to move it up into the SaaS, into the cloud. And then we'll also show you how we're going to help you pave the way for the migration and setting you up to be ready. We will then cover Solver as an xFP&A solution for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central or Sage Intacct, and how it can accelerate intelligent decisions for you immediately. So, xFP&A. It's all of these things, right? It's forecasting, it's dashboards, it's workflow, it's budgeting, reporting, planning. It's a lot of things, right? And organizations, we need all of these functions. And traditionally, this was done with multiple tools or multiple modules from different tools that weren't connected and required a lot of heavy integration. And then you'd have to learn these multiple tools until now. Solver does all of this in one suite, one cloud, one platform that's easy to implement and easy to learn. So why the X in xFP&A? That X stands for extended. And this is a fairly new category of solutions that Gartner and other industry research firms have established in the last year. And it refers to solutions that drive faster insights in the Office of Finance and beyond finance, extended to all departments of the organization. So traditional approaches of older CPM or FP&A solutions put the finance team only at the center of the company's performance management effort, not involving as many other people. But with extended FP&A, it goes beyond just the finance team. It's also about top-down, bottom-up, and cross-functional integration. So xFP&A can be a lot of things that you saw on that word cloud. So what I've done here is distill that entire word cloud down to these top 3 capabilities that you should look for in an xFP&A solution. Reporting and analytics. It should be able to do that. It should have pre-built connectors to all your source systems and templates with multiple data sources. Ideally, it should use Excel, right, as the design interface, because as accountants, we know and love Excel, and we already know how to use Excel and leverage its powerful capabilities for formulas. But we need Excel to be a little more powerful and connected better to our ERP and other source systems. We also ideally want it to have Power BI and Tableau capabilities for dashboarding. An xFP&A solution should also have planning, budgeting, forecasting, strategic planning, workflow, and approvals, all managed automatically. And finally, you need to have advanced consolidation capabilities many times to handle eliminations, allocations, currency conversion, and adjustments. So Solver does all of this in one complete suite. It has planning with budgeting and forecasting and what-if analysis, all inclusive built in. It has reporting with operational and financial reporting. Deep analysis, as I mentioned, you can use Power BI, Tableau, or within Excel for KPIs and dashboards. And finally, consolidations, eliminations, and currency translation. All of this in a cloud solution that you can help you accelerate intelligent decisions. And all of this is AI enabled with models to give you actionable insight into your organization. And over here on the right are some awards we've received from G2. So these are reviews from our actual customers. So a little bit about us. We were founded in 1996. We're headquartered in California. I'm actually based out of Toronto, Canada. There's 15 offices globally. We've been a longtime member and sponsor of Dynamics and Sage communities and their corresponding conferences. And we specialize in a number of verticals, including senior living, SaaS, nonprofits, hospitality, manufacturing, distribution, and healthcare. And we have an experienced team. A lot of us have deep expertise on xFP&A, business intelligence, and many of us are recovering accountants. We're recognized as a G2 leader, as you saw. And something important I wanted to call out, especially work in healthcare or a number of other areas, we are SOC 2 and HIPAA compliant and certified. Only about 70% of the CPM and FP&A solutions are SOC 2 and both HIPAA compliant. In fact, one of the major ones losing their SOC 2 certification, unfortunately, last year. So we have both of these capabilities if you're looking for that and you work in healthcare or with confidential information. And we're partnered with all the top global software publishers and business consulting firms. And as Mike mentioned earlier, you can find us on the Azure Marketplace or the Sage Marketplace, and on Microsoft App Source for Business Central. So let's talk about our transformation journey. In the beginning, I talked about how Solver can help you no matter where you are on that ERP journey of modernization. So maybe right now you're on GP, you're on SL. You're possibly using GP and SL with reporting tools like FRX, Management Reporter, maybe Crystal Reports or Jet, or you built a custom SQL Server reporting services solution. You're probably starting to see performance issues with the large data sets you have, difficulty modernizing your report designs. You might also be starting to see compatibility issues with these legacy products, especially as new versions of Office 365 get installed on your machines, or Excel versions are installed, new database gets updated on the background. It just makes it difficult to keep these legacy products up to date, and difficult deploying them across departments beyond finance especially, or for new employees. But you're not ready to modernize your ERP just yet. You're going to be on GP for a little while longer, or maybe SL. You might move it to the cloud. Well, you can now realize full insights into reporting, analysis, budgeting, and planning all together in one solution that works with GP or SL. You can start doing that right now. And Solver will work with any of those ERPs, and you can start building out the xFP&A insights that will pave the way and make you ready for your migration to Microsoft Dynamics 365, Business Central, or Sage Intacct. Solver works for both of them. When you do migrate to BC or Intacct, you'll notice more than likely you'll want to take advantage of the amazing dimensional power of BC. And you'll want to reorganize your chart of accounts, right? And guess what? You'll be ready with Solver's ERP Mapper and Consolidator. That will help you map the old legacy GP SL chart over to the new BC or Intacct dimensions for seamless reporting. So as for the next step of that journey, maybe you're actually about to start modernizing now, or you're actually in the middle of it and you're already starting your migration. So what do you do about reporting and planning? So as we mentioned, both BC and Intacct, they have some basic reporting built in, but not what you were probably used to when you had FRX or MR or Jet. And you'll also want to start doing more advanced planning and consolidation capabilities, pairing that up with reporting. And Solver has all of that. So we have fully formatted and automated reporting with publishing across all the Microsoft Dynamics 365, Business Central, and Sage Intacct dimensions, and all those subledgers. You can report on all of that and plan with all of that. Solver also includes all of your GP or SL history, including transaction detail, for valuable insights and historical comparisons. We do that by using Solver's ERP Mapper and Consolidator, which allows you to map your legacy GP SL account segments and that chart of accounts to Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC dimensions and your new chart of accounts for seamless consolidated reporting. These features are all included with Solver. The migration mapper, you save time by reducing costs by transferring all that historical GP SL data to Solver and mapping it to your new chart, so you're ready to go when you migrate. There is no need to purchase expensive third-party tools to keep your GP transaction history alive. You simply load it all into Solver's data warehouse once, including all the subledgers and all the drill-down transactions. And then with the ERP Consolidator, similar scenario, simply multi-ERP reporting and consolidation can happen because maybe you're a PE firm and you're managing multiple companies with different ERPs sometimes, and obviously different chart of accounts. Or you're an organization that's currently going through a lot of mergers, acquisitions, and as you acquire companies or locations or other divisions, they might be on a different ERP and obviously have a different chart. So with Solver's ERP Consolidator, we have connectors to all the different ERP systems out there so that you can instantly connect to that new system that you've now either merged with or acquired and deliver accurate on-demand consolidated reports. And you can automate the subsidiary GL mapping across all these disparate ERPs all in one solution. All of this functionality, as I mentioned, is included in Solver. It's not a module you have to purchase separately like many other CPM solutions. So just backing up a bit, so you're thinking about some of these challenges that you're going to go through as an ERP migration. There'll be some reporting disruption, so being able to have all your reports still run, you're going to want to have to do that while taking advantage of the new world in Business Central. You might think about the limited data being migrated to the new ERP, right? Because you're probably only going to bring over opening balances, maybe 1 year of transactions. What about historical access and licensing? You want to be able to look up, how much did I pay that vendor over the last 10 years? What do I do? Do I keep GP alive in the cloud for a while? Do I back that up, what do I do? And how do you handle the licensing for that and keeping the hardware alive? Or maybe you're going to put it up into the cloud, then a lift and shift. You also think about some of the account structure changes you're going to go away with. And we talked about that already earlier. You'll want seamless reporting across the legacy chart and the new chart. And you're going to want some data validation as part of your migration, reports that can help you ensure that you're tying out with the legacy reports and how that comes across to the new ERP. And Solver handles all that as part of the ERP mapper and consolidator. Cost and time impact, how long will it take you to integrate the reporting product on BC and create the reports, right? I'll get into that too. And more importantly, as we saw, everyone's thinking about AI tools and advanced analytics. Now that you're on this wonderful new platform like Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, you'll want to leverage the AI capabilities in there and the AI capabilities in Solver to help you accelerate reporting and planning. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So here's how Solver's migration mapper handles those challenges that we talked about. You'll be able to leverage Solver's data warehouse to bring in the GP or the SL data, as well as the Business Central GL data, including all transactions and subledgers, all into this one version of the truth. Your old reports will still run, while also taking advantage of the new world in Business Central with the reporting on both either separately or consolidated together. You could have a report that has current period coming from Business Central and all the prior periods coming from GP, all seamless. You won't have to design two reports. As for the historical access and licensing, you don't need to keep GP or SL alive once you're fully live on BC. All the licensing and hardware, you can stop that. You've pulled all the GP and SL data into Solver after your migration is complete. Your account structure changes are all handled with the Solver data and ERP mapper up here. You'll create basically a one-time mapping table with your GP SL chart on the left and BC on the right, and that table is kept in Solver and can be modified if required, but it's available throughout the entire Solver solution for all the reporting and the budgeting and planning process, so that planners and budget contributors will be able to have access to that historical data to give them context into their budgeting. The data validation, as I mentioned, it's all in there. We've handled that with some built-in validation and reconciliation reports in Solver. And here's the best part. You can get up and running in just a few days with Solver on BC, not weeks or months like other xFP&A solutions, using our quick start wizard and template marketplace of reports that are ready to go. And I mentioned AI and advanced analytics. Solver includes Solver Copilot, which is built on Microsoft's Copilot technology. It's AI-driven insights on your reports and your budgeting and planning assistant to help you find opportunities for growth and cost savings. Some of the consolidation challenges you might be having to deal with, multiple ERPs, especially I mentioned if you're a PE firm or you're going through mergers and acquisitions, there's probably some GL misalignment. That's manual and prone to error, right? Because you're probably doing a lot of exporting right now to bring that into your current system, whatever the company is you're acquiring or merging with. And that delays the monthly reporting. We'll know more because with Solver, as I mentioned, with the ERP mapper and consolidator, you'll be able to put all of that into Solver's data warehouse. Use the ERP consolidator to do the mapping between the systems. So here's our example. We've got a chart of accounts for subsidiary A, a different chart of accounts for subsidiary B. But over here on the right, this is our corporate chart of accounts. This is BC. This is what we use for everything. We'll handle the mapping of all this in the warehouse so that you can either report on any one of those subsidiaries on their own, or add it together, or merged in and consolidate it as part of the corporate chart of accounts. So moving a little further into our journey, the final scenario that maybe some of you are already at, you've completed your migration. You're already on Microsoft 365 Dynamics Business Central, or you're on Sage Intacct. You can benefit from AI-driven insights using Solver to help you accelerate intelligent decisions. You're maybe using BC's built-in financial reporting, formerly called account schedules. You're getting some basic reporting out of that, but they might find there's some limitations. There's maybe limited security, no automated report distribution. You have to create that. You also have to run each dimension as a P&L as its own report. And it's difficult to report on external data within account schedules at the same time, such as maybe pulling in statistical data or cloud or web-based data from some of your other systems. But with Solver being one complete solution for reporting, budgeting, planning, consolidation, dashboards, and analysis across multiple ERPs and multiple sources of business data. So finally, as I mentioned, you can still use our GP and SL connector to pull in all your historical data, right, into the data warehouse. And you're going to want to pull all of it because you may know the term, the more you wrestle with the data, the more it talks. And the more data you give it, the more it talks. So especially when you're using visual dashboards in analysis mode, the more history you provide those dashboards, the more context and data you have for noticing things like trends, repeatable scenarios, because it's all graphically in front of you and you've given it more history. So access to historical transactions is powerful reporting, especially when you're in budget scenarios. So in case you're wondering, what is Solver's architecture? What does it look like in your organization? And this diagram just shows a few of the data source connectors we have. We've got about 30 of them, but these are the two big ones we're talking about today that allow you to pull data from multiple ERPs into our data warehouse, or call it a data mart for that example. One version of the truth. Our connectors for both Sage Intacct and Dynamics 365 Business Central all use this quick start wizard approach that I mentioned. Basically, we start by asking you for the URL to your Intacct or BC instance. You'll log in, and Solver auto discovers all the features that you are using in the ERP and walks you through a wizard to choose the GL detail, what subledgers, things that you want to bring into Solver. Confirms your calendar, your chart, and then you can even create virtual dimensions, allowing you to perhaps combine or break out some of your BC dimensions to help with easier reporting in Solver. It doesn't hurt the ERP at all. It's only happening when you do reporting to help you with that. And then when you're done with the wizard, you click Finish. The Solver Quick Start Wizard will build the integration code for you that will extract all the data from the ERP and other source systems and put it in the warehouse. You can schedule that to run nightly, every couple of hours, or ad hoc whenever you want to refresh. And by the way, the refresh only takes a couple of minutes, as Solver leverages a Delta refresh technology, which will only bring in new or changed transactions. And once in the data warehouse, as I mentioned, this is your single source of the truth. In this data warehouse, Solver will also store your reporting and your budgeting templates that you created in Excel. You'll create them in Excel using the Solver Designer, which is an add-in that's installed as part of Excel. But when you save those Excel spreadsheets, they're not going as a file, they're going into the data warehouse. So it's one version of the truth. You can leverage all the formulas and formatting that you're used to in Excel without having to learn anything new. All your data from the ERP, the HR, the CRM, marketing, statistical data, it's all available to you in Excel using the Solver Designer. Solver also will give you, as part of the data warehouse, there are about 150 plus budget, report, and dashboard templates in our free template marketplace. They work right out of the box with your data, whether that's Intacct or BC. And once you're done creating the reports or using the Solver Marketplace, users of those reports over here on the right, the executive managers and other stakeholders, they'll interact with Solver with a browser on any device or any screen. No need to install anything. Those reports and budget input templates, they all live in a Solver web portal. They can be printed or exported to Excel if needed, but they'll live within the web portal so for users to create their budgets and view their reports. You can even create publishing schedules to automatically email a link to the Solver portal with a book of reports to all users to view, complete with security built in, so I can only see the departments I'm allowed to see. You can also email Solver report files in Excel or PDF to users who perhaps need to view these offline without an internet connection, well, maybe on an airplane. So Solver's planning and budget includes full workflow, allowing you to let budget contributors contribute to their budgets in the portal, complete with some actuals, maybe to give them context. And then there's areas in there for you to leave them instructions. And there's also areas for them to leave notes about how they budgeted and why they budgeted. You can put in placeholders in place so they can't go too far. And once they submit those budgets, Solver Workflow automatically moves it on to the next approver. So Solver really makes it easy to manage your entire xFP&A cycle. So some final takeaways. Just to summarize, set up your FP&A tool in days, really, not weeks. Start modernizing GP and SL right now, because you can replace FRX, Management Reporter, and JET, and you're paving the foundation to be ready for when you migrate to Business Central. You got some manual processes right now. There's probably some room for cost and time savings. Are you using a lot of Excel and emailing spreadsheets back and forth to each other? No one knows what version of the truth it is. Who's put in the most recent budget? We can take care of that for you right now, even on GP or SL. The right tools, they free up time for deeper analysis. Be data-driven. Ensure that there's a single source of truth for timely insights, not just for the ERP, but across the organization and all the other departments that have their own data sources. And those are good to have for effective planning. You integrate financial data, but also the more operational and non-financial data you bring in and start analyzing as part of your budgeting process, the more successful you'll be. That's being data-driven. And data flexibility caters to a variety of roles and decision makers that are within the organization. So I know you can stay on GP SL right now as you shift it to the cloud maybe. Embrace change. New, better ways are emerging daily. So all of this lays the foundation for your migration to BC or Intacct and seamlessly report on actuals and GPSL previous years, all in one report. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us today. Feel free to scan this QR code to download this free guide called Choosing the Best xFP&A Solution. I also want to thank the Intellatech team for including me in today's Intellatech Insights Summit. And as I mentioned, Intellatech is an award-winning Solver partner. They've done numerous successful Solver implementations, helping their clients accelerate intelligent decisions. So let people scan that QR code, and then we can open it up for Q&A.
Thanks, Mark. So right now, I think we just had one question that came in during your presentation. They asked, will we lose any of our historical data when moving from GP to Solver if we move to BC?
No, so the same data that you're seeing in Solver now, so if you're already a Solver user or you're about to be, you're looking at this, you're thinking, well, I'd like to get Solver now so I can start pulling in GP or SL data, we'll keep that same connector and we'll keep all of that data in the data warehouse. You'll keep that connection live until you're fully live on BC and you're ready to go. And you can do whatever you want to do with that GP or SL server. You may need to keep it alive for other activities beyond reporting, right? But from a reporting standpoint, you'll run a final data load and that's it. Everything will stay in that data warehouse. So you'll still have access to not just balances, but drill down to transaction details and all the subledgers that you brought in.